Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to do my first look for round 6 in World Cup Fantasy. So let's get started. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the confirmed fixtures for round 6. So far we've got 2 of the fixtures confirmed. So these are that France are going to be playing Morocco and that Norway are going to be playing England. So here I have got the projected goals and the clean sheet odds for these confirmed fixtures. These projected goals and clean sheet odds have come from FPL Joe's website, and I will leave a link to that down in the description, as by the time this video is uploaded there is going to be another confirmed game, so you can go and check out the projected goals and the clean sheet odds for that game as well by looking at the website. But on here we have got the projected goals. So France have got 1.93 projected goals, England have got 1.85 projected goals, Norway are on 1.22 projected goals, and then Morocco are on 0.89 projected goals. For the clean sheet odds for the 2 confirmed fixtures, it's France at the top with 42% chance of keeping a clean sheet, England have got a 31% chance of keeping a clean sheet, Norway have been given a 16% chance, and then Morocco have got a 13% chance of keeping a clean sheet. And then for the 2 other games that are going to make up round 6 in World Cup Fantasy, the quarterfinals of the World Cup, we know that Spain are through, as the Spain against Portugal game has just finished, and then they are going to be playing the winner of USA against Belgium, which is happening overnight. So that is the fixture that will be confirmed and will be on the clean sheet odds and projected goals by the time you're watching this. And then the other fixture that we're still waiting for both teams to be confirmed is Argentina or Egypt will be playing the winner of Switzerland against Colombia. Okay, so now we're going to start taking a look at some of my favourite players that you could potentially look to buy in round 6, and we're going to start off by looking at some French players. So at the top I have got the goalkeeper Maignan. With the goalkeepers, I probably wouldn't be looking to use a transfer on your goalkeeper unless both of them have been knocked out. So if you had, for example, the Canada goalkeeper and the Portugal goalkeeper and they've both been knocked out, then I would be looking to buy a new goalkeeper. But if you have just had one of your goalkeepers knocked out and the other is still in the competition, then I probably wouldn't make a transfer in that position this week, even if it's a goalkeeper you don't really want that is still going to be playing. I think I would just delay making that move until your goalkeeper does get knocked out. But if you are in a situation where you do need a new goalkeeper, then I think you could definitely go for Maignan, as I think France are quite likely to make it to the final. If you are looking for a new defender and you want to pick a French one, I think Upamecano is probably the best one to go for. I think 5.3 million is a really good price for him. And then with the attackers from France, Mbappe, Dembele and Elise are the 3 that really stand out to me as being the best options. I know some people are interested in Barcola and Doué as well, but I think those 2 are just going to keep sharing minutes throughout the tournament, whereas these 3 seem pretty nailed on to play the majority of the minutes in the game, and they have all been in pretty good form as well. Moving into the next game in the quarterfinals, England against Norway, I think this is a fixture that you could pick players from both teams because I expect both of them to score. So you probably mainly want to look at the attackers. Like I said with the goalkeepers, if you are in a situation where you need a new goalkeeper and you have got less money to spend, so you can't afford the French one, then Pickford at 0.2 million could be an option. Or if that's too expensive, then you could go for Nyland. Other than that, I would probably be mainly avoiding the defensive options from these teams, as like I said, I do think they're probably likely to both score. But if you do want a defender, then the one I would look at is O'Reilly, as he is quite attacking. We saw that last night. He did hit the post, so he came very close to scoring, so he could be an option. The only other reason I'd look to pick defenders from either of these teams is if you were going to be using the clean sheet shield. And then with the attackers from England, it's Kane and Bellingham that stand out to me. These are the 2 players that look like they're going to be the ones to step up for England and score the goals when England need them most. And I think Bellingham at 8.3 million, that's actually quite a good price for what he offers. So you could definitely go for him. And then Kane is obviously the penalty taker. so that makes him a really nice option as well. With the attackers from Norway, I think Haaland is obviously the standout option, but I think a lot of people are already quite nailed on with their front three. They've already got three strikers that they like and they don't really need to spend a transfer there. So I think midfield is the area where people are looking to spend more of their transfers. So if you would like a Norway midfielder, then I think Nusa at 6.1 million could potentially be a good option, especially as he's quite cheap. But unfortunately, he was subbed off at half time in the match against Brazil. So that's something to keep an eye on, that his minutes might not be secure. So if you would rather go for someone whose minutes are more secure, and you've got a little bit more money to spend, then you could go for Odegaard. Okay, and then the last team that we're going to talk about for today's video is Spain. So Spain's game against Portugal has just finished not long ago, so we know that they're going to be through to the quarterfinals. We don't know who their opponent is yet because USA are playing Belgium in a couple hours from when I'm filming this, and it's overnight in the UK, and after staying up for the England match last night, I definitely don't want to be staying up and waiting for that to be done before I film this video. So I'm going to talk about Spain now, because I think whoever they face out of USA or Belgium, they're still going to be favourites going into that fixture, and they've still got some really good options to pick from. So if you're not fancying the French goalkeeper but you've got the same amount of money to spend, then you could go for Simon, the Spanish goalkeeper. In the defenders, I think the standout option for me is Cucurella, and I think at 5.1 million he is priced quite cheap really for what he offers. He is very attacking, so Cucurella is definitely someone I'd be looking to get into my team for the quarterfinals. And then moving into the attacking options, I think if you've got a Sporwood for open, Oyarzabal at 8.1 million could be a really nice option. But like I said when I spoke about Haaland, I think a lot of people are already quite settled in the front three for the moment. So in the midfield, you could obviously go for Yamal at 10 million. He is the penalty taker, so he could definitely be a good option. But the option that looks to be probably in better form and comes in at a lot cheaper price, which could help you have a more balanced squad, is Baena. So for me, I think Baena is the one that I'm going to be looking at, because I'd rather target the player that is in better form and spend a little bit less money so that I can spread the money across my whole midfield a little bit better. As I think that's the issue my midfield has had at the minute. I've had Yamal or Dembele, and I have had Vinicius Junior in my midfield. So that's two players taking up 20 million of my budget, and then that's meant I've had to have a really cheap midfielder in that hasn't been performing. So I'm going to try and spread the money out a little bit more by probably going for Baena. Okay, and that is everything for my first look for round 6. I think the only other team that I didn't mention in here that I'll be looking to target in round 6 would be Argentina, but my opinion on the Argentina players hasn't really changed since I did my first look for round 5. So if you want to go and see which Argentina players I'd be picking, then I would go and take a look at that video. If you liked this video and found it useful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. My next video will be my team selection for round 6 in World Cup Fantasy, and what's quite nice going into this next round is that between the round of 16 finishing and the quarterfinal starting, we've actually got a day's break with no matches. So this should mean that when I'm filming my team selection for round 6, all the matches will be finished, we'll have all the clean sheet odds and all the projected goals, so I should have a finalised idea of what I'm going to do with my team in that video. And that video will be coming out on Thursday, which is the day of the deadline for round 6, so hopefully I'll see you all then for that video. Bye!